Good. Well, welcome to the Reinventing the Wheel series of talks, a program of the Knowledge House for Craft, hosted on the Garland platform. The Knowledge House for Craft is a space for appreciating the diversity of craft cultures. This gathering is a chance to get to know a particular culture, and the recording and learnings will be deposited in our vault for future reference. I pay my respects to the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation, on whose land I'm currently standing, and I pay my respects to their elders past and present, and to the ancestors of the lands where you come from. And I acknowledge my housemates here from the Knowledge House. Kamya Sharma is just joining us, Leila Ahmad, and also Jude van der Merwe, one of the directors of the Indian Ocean Craft Triennial, who will no doubt have a great interest in what proceeds. Despite the isolation of political sanctions from the West, Iran has a vibrant culture, as witnessed by the many stories in Garland magazine that are available in the Persian Garden feature of the Garden of Stories. A great help for us has been Atefe Masani, a worthy Garland perennial. So we begin with a salutation. We salute those who work hard in their own country for the betterment of their culture. And I just like briefly to quote from one of the makers that Atefe helped us feature, Azadeh Yasaman. She writes, warps, she's talking about weaving as a metaphor, warps are like the basis of being, like the fact that I am an Iranian woman with unchanging characteristics, but the wefts are like thoughts, experiences, and memories changing or repeating, and can alter the design or color of the fabric in every move. They are like moments of life which repeat, but are always fresh and new. So Atefe Masani is a maker in her own right, specializing in wooden jewelry. After a Bachelor of Craft degree at Tehran University of Art, she did a PhD titled In the Field of Wooden Jewelry, Development of Jewelry Design in the Traditions of Russian Culture Using Iranian Technologies at the Petersburg University of Technology and Design. On return to Iran in 2021, she founded Craftland magazine, featuring Iranian handicrafts culture and tourism, published in both English and Italian. She has also played a significant role in organizing Iran Craft Week. And today she's generously offered to share her story and understanding of the Iranian scene with us. And I should just acknowledge our gratitude to Atefe and other people who are participating for whom English is not the first language. So we don't want to take that for granted. We are grateful that you're taking the time to speak in this language. So Atefe, very interested to hear your views about Iranian craft. Over to you.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Hello, dear Kevin, and thank you for this invitation. That's amazing for me. First of all, let me tell a little bit about the story of Craftland. Actually, the beginning of Craftland was taking shape after my immigration, exactly when I wanted to introduce Iranian artists and artisan to my foreign friends. And after that, I scratched all that. I explored all the avenues and I was looking for foreign events. And suddenly I came across a poster, was out of the date, and the only way to contact me was an email. And I didn't even think that my email would be answered. And Kevin, you answer me, and I get kicked out of becoming acquainted with you. After participating in Garland groups and some video meetings, I decided to start the Craftland magazine with my friends in disparate fields, and Craftland was the best event in my life during the Corona period. Yeah.
I'm sorry, your connection has been lost. So this is the issue, one of the issues we have, but we must have patience. It started well at Tefeng, but unfortunately, we can't hear anymore because the connection doesn't seem good enough.
I wonder.
Excuse me, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, sorry. Well, you asked me about Iranian crafts and handmade. As I mentioned, as I said before in the issue that I wrote with Narges and Zahra Motagi, other my dear friends can study on the website, through the website, this short article. And
I think we just lost Atif's connection.
Arsalan, would you be able to fill in since you are controlling?
Sure,
images?
sure, definitely. I will start the presentation that we've prepared for everyone, and once Atif is back in again, I will hand the microphone to her. So, again, a warm welcome, everybody. It's very great to be here and presenting Craftland to you, and also seeing the team members that have been here. If you can't hear me, just please let me know with a shape of hand, and I will try to do something about it. So, Craftland is a magazine that we started a few years ago, and so far we have published 7 volumes of that. So, as Atif was just trying to explain, it's focused on craft mainly, and then culture and tourism of Iran. And again, Atif was just trying to explain the background of how we started it, how it sort of it became sort of an imagination or an idea, that why it's required, why we need that, because we felt the need for someone to be able to actually represent and properly represent the Iranian craft artisans and artists who are working and quite we don't know them, but when you actually encounter them, you say, wow, this is a great work, but no one talks about it. No one has really presented it in a proper way. So we tried our best, and it was just a simple matter of trial and error. When we started, it started quarterly, but then we realized that we might not have enough content to continue it on a quarterly basis every 3 months. Then we reduced the numbers to annually. So mostly one of the fields that Atif actually was quite focused on was the culture economy, and basically that was one of the main ideas sort of driving us when creating Craftland. So number one thing that let's say we put as an aim for our team was that we have a lot of potentials in our country. We have, again, a lot of people, a lot of talents, but maybe not enough representation in the public realm, or maybe in the social media. We had maybe Farsi pages, let's say social media pages in Farsi language or in Persian language, but not enough resources in the international language, meaning the English language. So maybe yes, you could have been able to find some of the resources that we were talking about in our own language, like books, websites, social media pages, YouTube channels, but you weren't able to find enough resources if you were someone who didn't speak Farsi. And that was one of the maybe the missing points or the main pain points that we try to address. So we try to be a window. We try to be a window to show the beauties of our country, again, focused on craft, but also because craft is a multidisciplinary sort of field. It was also connected to culture. It was also connected to tourism and many other aspects that even we don't talk about. So again, as I said, the main pain points that we tried to address was that they are not seen enough. They cannot trade, again, because of the sanctions. Actually, that's one of the maybe good topics to be brought up here, is that because of the sanctions, the artists and artisans who are working in Iran, they cannot be seen, and also they cannot trade worldwide. Okay, so this is another thing that we try to at least think about and say, okay, what we can do here, what can be done here, and see what's our capacity to help them as much as possible. Again, another pain point was the incoherency, meaning that you weren't able to find one resource where you can see everything together as a package. Because again, Atif is very good in explaining this, and I hope that she can get back to the meeting soon. But craft, culture, tourism, they have sort of the links and interjunctions with each other that you cannot miss. You cannot think about craft without thinking about culture, and you cannot think about culture without thinking about craft. Okay, so you need to have all of this in one location so that they would be connected to each other. Well, that was missing. That was something that we weren't able to find at the time. And maybe the last point was the underestimation that we saw the again, the products that were there, we saw the work that was there, and it was quite high quality. But when it comes to marketing that, let's say marketing as a keyword here, when it comes to marketing that product, you see the photos are not that good. It's not presented in a proper way. And of course, it won't be appreciated once it's not presented in a proper way. There were also other problems that we tried to sort of tackle and we tried to help with. Maybe one of them was sort of lack of general knowledge regarding sustainable craft, which is, as we all understand, it's one of the important topics to be talked about. So we sort of tried to allocate a specific part to sustainable craft. We called it craft accessibility. We get to that in a few minutes. Also, there are rural entrepreneurs in every country, not only in Iran, but we are focused on Iran. Rural entrepreneurs that, again, they don't have the camera on them, they don't have the microphone, they don't have the stage to talk to the world. So we try to also be there for them and try to promote them, and allocated one specific part to them on each volume too. Then again, design-based products is one of the things that Atif specifically was quite keen to focus on promoting in every volume, and basically analyzing of the challenges that surrounds craft. So we set 3 goals for ourselves. One of them is to depict Iran, a reality of Iran as we call it. And then other one is to promote the culture, art, and tourism of Iran. And the third goal that we said, let's introduce Iranian artisans and brands to the international community as much as we can. Let's be the voice for them. And then these are the added values that we perceive for ourselves. We think, at least, or we claim that these are the added values that we can bring to these people, is to promote them, promote their creativity, to try to develop international relations for them, to try to, again, be the marketing, I would say, lever for them as much as possible. Introducing the culture of Iran, translation, specifically, this is one of the important points, because as I said, most of these artisans and artists, the work that they do, it's represented in Farsi and it's our own language, but it's not represented to the international community with a proper language, English language, I mean. Encouraging tourists to visit Iran, again, it's one of the things that we said is one of the added values that we can have, is to by showing this to them, by showing the beauties of both the work that has been done, the buildings, even as I said, because we also sort of approach to culture and also to tourism. So we also claimed to be helpful in encouraging tourists to visit Iran, and some other values that you can see on the screen. So eventually we came up to 2 official languages to publish the Craftland in. The English part, the English version is deposited in the British Library in London, in UK. And you can see the ISSN number. Same with the Italian version. That one is registered in the Central Library of Rome. Again, it can be searched with the ISSN codes that you can see on the screen. And then we try to be found in as many platforms as possible. So we have our online platform on our website, and then the easui.com. We try to reach tourists in the hotel, but through the travel agencies, we try to reach the economy sector. Oops, my camera just fell down. We try to fish the economy sector through the embassies and business chambers, again, as much as possible. And also through the academic institutions, meaning the libraries, the professors, the universities even. Now, these are the libraries that we are deposited in. It's British Library. The top few ones are in the UK, and then the last bottom two are in Italy. And we can be accessed via normal social media devices and everything. But that's a sort of a brief, maybe not too brief, but a brief introduction of our magazine and how it started. And we have prepared a few examples for you of what we have done, maybe a few good ones. I just want to check in and if Atife is back, so that Atife, can you hear us?
No, she doesn't seem to be back yet. So
Okay,
please
okay.
continue. Thank you so much, Arsalan.
No worries, no worries. Any questions up to this point?
I think we'll have time for questions afterwards, but
Okay.
certainly be good to hear thoughts about what you think the unique qualities of Iranian culture are in regard to the work that you present. That's something we can look at later.
Okay, okay. Later, once it is finished, we'll get to that part as well. Okay. So the content of Craftland, we try to, I'm just gonna talk about the structure of how we try to structure the content. So firstly, it has a first big part about craft because it's mainly about craft. So maybe half of each volume is allocated to craft only. All different techniques, all different, and the ones that you can also see in the next few pages, different textiles from jewelries to, again, jewelries, embroideries, mirrors, home decor. Some of the artists and artisans that we introduced, they were working on potteries, some of them working on lamps, lights, fixtures, tables, desks. This one is in fashion, for example, as you can see. And again, Atife was preparing a few words to talk about each one of them. Maybe she's going to come back soon and can enlighten us. Some of them working in ceramic, mostly focused on ceramics, like you can see again, jars, cups, mugs, sandals, shoes. Again, jewelries. This one specifically works with wood. Even some of them, we can say it was like sculptural work. Again, jewelries. This one might be better to zoom in to actually see some of the beauty. And some of them are quite fantastic in terms of the fact that you cannot tell the difference if it's a sculpture, if it's practical, if it's just a fashion item that's just there to be seen and appreciated, or if there's an actual use to that. Again, one of them is this one. And it's worth mentioning that not all of these people are based in Iran. Some of them are Iranians working within the Iranian community and working within the, let's say, our meaning of craft, but they are based in, for example, this specific lady was based in California, if I'm correct. And mostly they were based in Iran, but some of them had also immigrated to other countries. But we made sure that still the work is relevant to what we are trying to introduce. Again, ceramics. Tiles and glass and mixture of those. Most of them were also interdisciplinary works. Fashion and okay. After the craft section is finished, we also said that, okay, let's have a few other parts about not necessarily craft itself, but other fields that are related to craft and related to culture. Okay, so in each volume, we specifically allocated one part and one section of the magazine to style, for example. This is one of the examples. Okay, and as we had 7 different volumes, these were just some examples and samples of what we've worked on, what we have tried to introduce. So for each volume, we had one specific section for style, one specific section for craft and sustainability, and one specific section for rural entrepreneurs working in the craft field. Okay, so these were 3 brands, or let's say 3 people, who we tried to introduce in every volume, working specifically in one particular section. So, for example, this one of the colleagues that we had in our team, Azin, was working on style on every volume, and this one is about Nagma Zahari, a Persian lady who works with specific cloths, stemmed from the Qajar era, and we actually introduced this on one of the front cover pages in volume 6 of our magazine. Yasaman was helping us with craft and sustainability section. For example, this is a story of a group who were trying to make sustainable soap and also working on the design of the packages. And again, the way that they were creating these soaps, it was specific. So we said, why not? Let's just introduce them in the 7th volume. We had Farzaneh working with the rural entrepreneurs. Again, this one is one of the ladies who was working with people in quite dilapidated areas, quite, I would say, areas with low facilities, and people, you can see even the photos of the people who are helping to create these artworks. I would say simple people living in a village, and this entrepreneur was trying to give them some work and also introduce them and also help them, and this was sort of the focus of their business, which is again one of the things that we try to find one person like this lady who did this, to find people from villages and from areas without any specific work to do, and try to sort of give them something to do and make some job for them, I would say. But then once this part is finished and craft is sort of finished, which is the first half of the magazine, then we also go to introduce other things such as the culture of our country. So starting with carpet, for example, this is a specific carpet, and it stemmed from the Persian garden, which is a famous concept in our sort of art and the history of art. That Persian garden has a specific plan, has a specific type of design. And now this type of carpet, this type of rug, is designed based on that Persian garden plan, which is quite specific on its own. And then, oh yes, thanks for sharing the link as well. And then, for example, next section was on architecture. So we tried to introduce one architectural, I would say, important element in every volume. So this one is the Azadi Tower, one of the most famous buildings in our country, which has a phenomenal design. I wish the people who had actually written these pages were also here. We have a few of them here that can introduce the work that they have done, and I'm just gonna pass the microphone to them in a few seconds to talk about what they have talked about. Now here again, we have museum section in every part, and we introduced one museum in every volume. So this one was for volume number 7, which is Chehel Sütun Museum. It's one of the famous old buildings with a famous design and paintings, again, famous paintings on the walls that you can see everywhere. It's highly recommended to visit there if you ever go to Isfahan. And we have here now from here we have one of the people who have actually written this part, and we can ask Zahra to come and just talk for a few seconds about what she has tried to sort of introduce in this section. Zahra, would you be able to just jump in? And would you like to? If you can hear us. Hi, Zahra. Would you like to unmute and
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you. Salam.
I'm sorry, the internet. Hi, everyone. Hi, everyone. Can you hear me?
It is breaking up.
Maybe Zahra, you can turn off the video so that we can hear you better.
Okay, I turn off the video. Can you hear me now? Hi, everyone. Nice to see you all. I'm really happy to have the chance to be in this meeting. I'm Zahra Khademi. I'm a calligrapher, version, and both. Especially in and cursing in English.
I'm afraid we can't hear you properly, Zahra.
In this magazine.
I'm sorry, Zahra, we can't hear you properly, but it's wonderful that you could join us. Thank you so much for that. Arsalan?
Okay. Yes. Apologies, Zahra wasn't able to, maybe because of the internet connection. But I don't want to misrepresent the work, so it's better for her to sort of describe what she's tried to introduce in this section. But again, as I said, in every volume we had one section specifically allocated to calligraphy. Now this is specifically about decorative kufi in our volume 7. I wish Zahra was able to introduce you, but you can see more. Oh, hi, Atif is back as well, and we have a few other people here. So yeah, decorative kufi is one of the things that we discussed in volume 7. Then we have Ghazale for miniature part. Ghazal, would you be able to just shed some light on us?
Yes, hello to everyone. I'm really happy to see you. It was really great meeting. At first, I want to introduce myself. My name is Ghazale Elhamian. I'm the writer for the miniature painting section of the magazine and graduated with a master's degree in miniature painting from Tabriz Islamic Art University. In fact, I choose this field because of my excellent undergraduate professor. His name was Mr. Yasavadi. He, by his behavior, I get interested into miniature. Throughout all the years of my artistic life, I have been dedicated to introduce Iranian art, especially Iranian handicraft. And I believe that all my colleagues who collaborate on this magazine share the same passion, and together we have taken a major step toward promoting Iranian handicraft. About my section, at first, let me say that I prefer to say Persian painting instead of miniature because this term is more tangible for understanding the art being presented. As you see, this page related to Persian red, and I prefer to introduce Divan Khaqan, which the book is content of Fatali Shah Qajar's poems. This book, I think it is not famous like Shahnameh. It is much less known or even heard of. In most sources, when we reach the Qajar period, the terms Persian painting is less frequently used, and most artists refers to the paintings of this period as iconography, something like this, that contain the portrait of people. As states in the text, the Divan Khaqan is preserved in the British Royal Collection, and Mirza Baba, the famous painter in this period, worked on this beautiful piece for 17 years. The details in the image are shown beautifully, demonstrating painters. I'm really sorry, someone comes in my office, so that interrupts me. Additionally, the choice of the red outfit for the Qajar king reflects his allure and power. And you can see more details in this issue of magazine. And in conclusion, I hope this magazine serves as a spark for art enthusiasts for follow Iranian art with greater sensitivity and discover its hidden demonstrate.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Ghazali-Jan. Appreciate it. I just quickly browse and scroll to the next section, which is the traditional ceremonies. We have a lot of things, but also I see I've passed carpet. Shima, would you be able to just maybe elaborate maybe a few more sentences that I've missed on your part, if you can hear us? Because I think now that we have you here, it's good to hear a few sentences about this. Yeah.
Yes. Hello, everyone. Do you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
I'm
Well,
Shima. I'm honored to meet you, and I'm glad to be here. First of all, I want to say a little bit about myself and actually my major. I have bachelor's degree in carpet designing, and also I have master degree in art research. And I'm responsible for hand-woven part in Craftland magazine. And as you know, we have 7 volumes in Craftland magazine. and I've been joining this group since the first issue. Actually, I love all concept of these issues, but for me, the concept of the last issue more lovely than the others. I mean, Persian Garden, yeah. So I want to talk about garden carpets or baghi carpet. We say in Farsi baghi carpet. The main structure of baghi carpet are according to Persian garden architecture. Also, Arsalan mentioned a little about this type of garden, the type of carpets. And waterway and garden are basic structure, and the other one included trees, flower, birds, some kind of plant, and something like this. The design is similar to the heaven and remind us the heaven. And we have many famous and valuable baghi carpet in the famous museum in the world, and I've mentioned 3 of them in this issue. One of them is known as Wagner carpet, that belongs to Safavid area of Iran, which is in an art gallery in Glasgow, England. And the other one is belongs to Metropolitan Museum, and also it belongs to a Safavid area. And the last one is one of them, a body carpet that is and that's it.
Very well. Thank you very much. It's much better when the actual author of one part actually comes and talks about it rather than me. Thank you very much, Shimaja.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Okay. So we almost concluded the craft part. I wish the other people were also here and were able to talk about it. Next part is the traditional ceremonies. We are quite proud of our traditional ceremonies. We have a lot of them. Again, in one of the volumes, volume number 6, we talked about the specific night in our culture, which is the Yalda night. Is the longest night every year, so which is almost in a very close to Christmas, maybe 10 days before Christmas. It's roughly more or less there. And it's the longest night, and we have a specific ceremony for the longest night of the year. We gather together with our families and grandparents, and we read some hafiz, which is a specific poem, a set of poems that we try to sort of do it like we try to sort of try our luck and see what the poet has got to say to us. So we open the book of all of his poems, and we just luckily try to open one of them and then see, oh, this says, for example, you are going to have a good chance this year, or no, you're not going to go do so well in the following year, unfortunately. And the poet tries to talk with us with that specific year. And we have pomegranate and watermelon as the specific red fruits prepared for that night. It's a specific ceremony on its own. We have something similar to trick and treat also happening on Yalda, meaning that kids go to other houses and then try to knock on the doors and get some treats. And unfortunately, in the modern days, we can see that it's disappearing. Then once the culture part is finished, we also try to introduce some of our tourism and maybe, let's say, the fascinating parts to the international community. So one of them is the cuisine that we have, like the foods that we have, let's say, maybe invented, or it's traditionally from Iran or originated from Iran. So one of them is Kolompeh from Kerman. Kerman is one of the cities from south of Iran. It's a beautiful pastry, quite delicious. Again, I wish we had all the people and all the time, but it's never happening. But we have all the people who have written these parts coming and talk about what they have talked about. Next part, we introduce traveling agencies and hotels and ecotourisms to people who want to actually visit Iran. Okay, so these are again the sub parts that we try to introduce. Let's say craft could be the center and is the center of the magazine, but then we have these parts contributing from the site. So we try to introduce one travel agency in every volume. This one is, for example, group of people who conduct tours, but not any normal tour. They take you to specific villages, and they allow you to live with the village, live with the people who are in the village, and try to have their even go to travel with them, do their everyday chores, do the tasks with them. It's quite fascinating, I would say, one of its kind. We also introduce one hotel in every volume and every issue of the magazine. So this one is the Abbasi Hotel. Again, Isfahan is one of the cities that we are proud of. You can find the finest culture and finest, I would say, craft products in Isfahan. And this hotel is one of the most famous hotels. Everyone going to Isfahan in the near future, I definitely recommend it. Then we also have ecotourism as well as hotels. Ecotourism specifically focuses on, again, accommodations that are not within the cities, but rather are in rural areas. So, for example, this is a farm. It's called the Khorshid Farm. Khorshid means the sun. It's like the farm of the sun, and there are all sorts of activities, but in a way that's sort of in line with the ecotourism, I would say, discipline, rather than having a simple and nice photo and building, it's a nice hotel and building in the middle of the city. We have Aravan here, who can also talk about the craft store. So in every volume, we introduce one craft store. And Aravan, could you please talk to us a little bit about this?
Hi everyone. I'm glad that you are hearing me. I'm Miriam or Aravan. My background in design led me to Craftland and knowing Atife, and I have had the opportunity to work in several roles over these years that we have had Craftland. But recently, I've been focused on managing our craft store pages, a project that I can feel it's very close to my heart. Well, I can say our main goal on this page is to guide people who have a passion for Persian art, helping them to discover where they can find authentic Persian craft in person around the world. Also, we aim to introduce them to the rich stories behind these wonderful places. I mean, sharing the background of the founders, the origin of their products, and the unique challenges they faced with shipping and customer service. As you can see in the slide, on number 6, on volume 6, I spoke with Messer Yagana, the founder of Right Advice, about his early years in Iran's vibrant carpet markets. His experiences there inspired him to create Rug Advice, where he now offers expertly crafted high-quality rugs. By telling these stories, I hope we can help others see the heart and soul of the Persian art. Thank you.
Thank you, Aravan. It's quite funny that this one is also based in Melbourne, Australia as well. I think that's a good point, worth mentioning. And that's maybe the most of it, but I think we skipped a very big part. And if we have some of these rugs in my home, beautiful. What a small world. And I think one of the parts that we missed, Kevin, if you have time, is it okay if we just go back to craft? I think Atife is here, and we can talk maybe a little more depth about these pages.
Yes, please. It would be lovely to hear from Atife and to
Thank
talk
you.
more about some of the themes in Iranian craft.
Exactly.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, hi again. I'm so sorry I missed my connection. And we selected some of the artisans for us, and we want to show the magnificent pieces of the craft. And for example, the Nur Arash design. There's very interesting story, and I advise you try to find and read the story. And he find a bow tie. He find a bow or tie for a wedding party, and he can't because he has a special taste, and he want combine some technique of cermeduzi and stone mixed together, and after that he did this work. And the next page says about her jewelry designer. Her name is Eileen, and for the first time Eileen performed the technique of the mirror and combining with the gold and silver. And after that we can see the Ziva. Ziva is the one one person can mix the carpet in different phase, in different design, and combined with the breast. And she has a gorgeous design, and I'm fan of her. And the next brand says about the Maka. Maka, she founded this brand in Balochistan, and she hopes to show arts and blue embroidery to the world through her work. And you can see she designed it for men and women in different design. And about the day ceramic. This group is so talent, and they try to imagine, show the image of Iranian and Iranian men and women in various type of each country. And the next brand is Lema. Lema is a group of two girls that name Leila and Massima. Two tryless girls, and they built their dream with when they joining together. And next one is Baharak Omitfar, and Kevin, I think you know her because she had a smart article on Garland magazine, if I'm not mistaken. And Baharak created the unique works from the world of Iranian myths. And the next one is Yasser Yami. He is one of the perfect masters in my country, and specifically the technique name is wood turning, and he participated at the international exhibition or some exhibition. And hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me? I'm so sorry. Hello,
Yes. We can hear you.
can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Yeah, okay, I'm sorry. Oh, okay. And the name of Master Iskandari, he graduated from London. He lived in London, and after he studied in foreign university, he came back to Iran and tried to brought his experience to Iran and share with a young designer and ceramist. And the next one is Mina Embroidery. She's the most she works a lot about the powerful woman in Iran, and she passionate about designing and showing the face of Iranian women, and she's doing perfect this job. And the next one is Jobesan. Jobesan is the brand. She brought the decoration from the fabric and detail of clothes on the accessory, I mean earring, necklace, or something like that. And the next one is Sharare Aghay, and again, I think you know Kevin Sharare Aghay, and maybe Kamaya Sharma, my dear friends, is here. Hello, Kamaya. And Sharare was participating in art craft week 3 years ago. and she's a perfect designer, and she lives in Germany. Actually, the specific the specific field of her is contemporary jewelry inspired by the culture of Iran, and specifically the fabric, Iranian fabric. And hi, my lovely friends, and the wonderful and again, uh, Puya Peyman, she's awesome. I don't know which word is perfect for her, and she, after get cancer, start to design her nightmare, and Puya turn into verbal jewelry, and with mixed material in polyester, in glass, or something like that. And the next one is Leila Nazarian. Leila born in Santa Monica, and she inspired her first collection from the art of the Qajar period, and he hopes to revert the value of handmade works and the importance in culture. He tries to work with khatam and painting and working on metal. And the next one is Ashk Objects. Ashk Objects is bring the name of Ashkan. He was interested in change the external decoration of the building, but it's not possible. He tried to find the own way, and she made markers in his works. And the next one is Farzana Art Studio. Farzana, again, she is a talented woman, and she has a small and private museum about ceramic, and she works all around the world, and she tried to change their color and pattern of traditional ceramic and to brings in contemporary area. And thank you, Arsalan. Well, I miss some part of the craft that I want to mention that, and I miss connection. I'm so sorry. I will speak a little bit about that. If it's not a problem, Kevin, can we have a little bit time or no?
We're running short of time, but please, if you can make the point that you wanted to, that would be wonderful.
Okay. I want to mention 3 part. A lot of my foreign friends ask me about the sanction, about some problems in Iran for supported Iranian designer, and they ask me a lot about this problem. Actually, I want to say we are face a lot of a lot of price fluctuation. This has a daily effect on pricing of our website and our sales, but which is difficult to manage to some things we face losses. But we Iranians, and or rather artists and designers, continue to follow the path we believe in with all our being, and we have been in this turmoil for many years, and we have learned to continue, as I do and all of my colleagues do. And about how and some of my friends ask about the organization and some active center for craft in Iran, and how they can support an Iranian designer. Well, I have to say sometimes we don't have and follow up the problem of connection of internet. Sometimes we don't have access information for research and some sites, and it's a filtering problem, as you know, which is not related to internal filtering due to sanction or even access to external information is a bit difficult, and identify and innovating these people is more effective than complex protocol. It is administrative. In order to support us, you can support Craftland in the first step, and in speeches and conversation, each person will introduce to people around the world and tell about us. And please do it this job, this work for us, because it's help to all artisans. And do you have any question, Kevin, that you want to answer that?
Thank you very much, Tefi, and certainly congratulations on your steadfastness. We use that word in English, your strength with you and your colleagues. It's a sign of the strength of Iranian culture. I just wanted to very quickly introduce Azadeh Nikoui, who's with us. Maybe just in terms of the picture, Azadeh, you could say very briefly how you document Iranian crafts. Are you able to do that, Azadeh?
Hello,
Actually,
everybody. Hello, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm so pleased to visit all of you, and I'm really honored of you, especially Atif Mirsaneh. I just got acquainted with your great project, and it's very honorable. I congratulate you for the work you've done, and I really appreciate it. Thank you, dear Atif. And actually, I'm a PhD student at Tarbiyat Modaris University, and I am studying art studies, but previously I have a BA and MA in handicrafts, and I also simultaneously I work at the Ministry of Cultural Heritage, Tourism and Handicraft. And I got acquainted with dear Kevin and during the process and activities of the ministry, and also I wrote an index for the dictionary of House of Craft, for the index of the definition and the word for handicrafts, equivalent word for handicrafts in Iran. That we have Sanoi Dasti. But actually, I feel the lack of definition of handicraft, and also some definitions for all indexes of handicrafts and sorts and categories in Iran. And because of that, my colleagues and me authored two booklets, and one of them is in Persian and have some descriptions on handicrafts, and another one is in English. And I will share it with you. That's a selection of 160 selected majors of handicrafts with its definition, because I think that most of people in other countries unfortunately don't have any enough information about our majors in Iran, and because of that, because of the feeling the lack, we decided to gather some information on it. Unfortunately, although we declared that we have 299 majors in Iran, most of them are declined without our notice, and it's really disappointing. But I think that it's a very good opportunity that you and the private sector decided to do some professional things for it, and I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
And also, then, oh, thank you so much. And the last point is I studied about the theory of craft. It's there's a lack also about the theory of craft in Iran and what we call craft or what we call Sanoyi Dasti, and what is the differences between Sanoyi Dasti and Kar Dasti and هنرهای زیبا, and maybe someday it should be more defined, more definite boundaries between these concepts. But I really thank you, dear Kevin, and I'm so happy to get acquainted with you and your powerful team. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Azadeh.
Thank you so much.
Certainly through
Thank
your
you.
work and the work of Atefe and others, and also Ramula, who gave the previous talk on Iranian craft theory,
Yeah.
we hope to provide a space where the particular nature of Iranian craft can be shared. But in terms of wrapping up, Atefe and others, Arsalan and so on, looking at Iranian craft, and certainly in an international context, which is what Craftland is doing, what do you see as being part of the unique quality of it? What does Iranian craft and culture contribute to world culture? What's its distinct element, do you think?
You ask of me or Azadeh? Kevin,
Yes,
Mr. Kevin,
yes.
you ask of me or Azadeh?
Start with you. Yes. Atefe?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Actually, we don't have any boundaries, as Azadeh mentioned that about the craft, handmade artwork, and Sanoyi Dasti and Honarهای زیبا and something like that. But about the worldwide, these days we have a new experience. I want to mention about period of the in British and 18th century, if I'm not mistaken, in 18th century. Susan Lachman wrote a book about the later 18th century and say about the period after Etsy. And actually all know about the Etsy website, and we don't have Etsy in Iran, but after starting the launch Instagram in Iran, a lot of boundary broken, and a lot of designers try to find the taste of society, and they watch a lot of foreign designers and style of the design, and after that the game is changed, as I said before. But now these days we faced on a new design. We goes to contemporary area, and we can see some changes because of internet and AI or ChatGPT or something like that. And I think there's not huge difference between our country and worldwide. I mean about some change, because this change, it's happened in each country. It's not just happening in Iran. And this is my opinion. And dear Azadeh, you
Does
can go
anyone
ahead.
else have something to add to the question of what is distinct about Iranian craft?
Actually, no, I totally agree with Atefe, and but I think that Iranian share more taste with the international taste, because I think that Iranian art is totally very complicated and can meet very large range of expectations in the world, and totally I am agree with Atif Mirsane, and that in the field that having access to internet minimizes the power of the thought that actually I don't have any connection. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Good.
Thank you so
Well,
much.
it's
I'm so sorry.
an interesting issue because if the feeling in Iran is to internationalize the culture, to open it up to the world, to appeal
Yes, minimizes
to
the
tourists and so on. From the perspective of countries in the West, for instance, we're looking for something different. So we're going in the opposite direction. We're looking for what makes Iranian craft unique. And I guess it's a question of where we meet. And certainly in terms of jewelry, and I've noticed that in terms of the world scene, Iranian jewelry has a unique interest in the cultural heritage, drawing on myths of the past, of different dynasties, of different decorative periods, but personalizing it, turning it into adornment, whereas previously maybe it was architecture like we saw in Isfahan, where it belonged to the public. Now it's something that is part of your private self, which maybe also is about how people express themselves in a culture like Iran. So I don't think we can resolve that, but it's just an interesting issue about the different directions that we're going in.
Thank you so much. Yes.
Does anyone else have anything to add?
No, thank you, Kevin. Thanks for this opportunity. Thank you for today. Thank you for all your support in all my life. After I know you, you support me at this way, and you're my role model. And thank you so much.
Well, thank you. It's wonderful that you take the time to be a guide and a mediator for so many wonderful creative people in Iran. And everybody I know is so impressed with that. Thank you for that. And I think this is the start of a conversation. There are many questions left to answer, but we're out of time now. So I think the wonderful Iranian phrase "Hastanabashi" is something I enjoy. Don't be tired, given everything, and you certainly show that in your work today. So merci. Hodafez.
Merci.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Bye bye.